We're going to get back to some of our banter, but just is there any question in your mind that next Saturday night at the Downtown Athletic Club in Manhattan, I'm planning on being in New York, and Lord willing, I'm going to be in that room cheering and praying for Colt. Any doubt in your mind that Colt deserves to be the 2009 Heisman Trophy winner?
No, and I think that the nationally televised game and the show that he put on at A&M proved that, because you just see the jump that he made in the voting, because so many of those people up east sometimes that vote don't get a chance to see him unless it's a nationally broadcast game. And for him to go out and do what he did, throwing and running and leading that team, I just don't see how. And he's the winningest quarterback in the history of NCAA football. How could you ever forget that part when you're getting ready to vote?
Well, Coach, we are in consensus here, and we're videoing this broadcast, and it's going to go viral. So I hope your comments actually contribute to a landslide victory, though no one believes at all that what we're doing has real any impact. Colt McCoy has earned the 2009 Heisman Trophy. He's earned it on the field. He's earned it over the last 4 years, winning more football games at quarterback than anyone in NCAA history. And I just want to tell you, as we let you go and we get back to some of our discussion, how much I love you, what an incredible ambassador you are for the University of Texas.
Absolutely.
What an incredible friend you've been to me and my family. And, again, the only beef I have against you is you didn't recognize that I could have played quarterback at UT. And you made me stay on the offensive line and as a deep snapper. But I'll get past that. I love you. Hook 'em horns.
Love you. And I think if you had dropped about 200 pounds, you could have played quarterback. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
It may be on the air. Do you still want one ticket?
Yes, sir. I need a ticket to the game. You got me hooked up?
All right, I got one for you.
All right, we'll work out those details later. Hallelujah!
It's going to be, and we'll call it Gate A.
Okay. All right. We'll let everyone know our little personal information there. Hey, love you, Coach. God bless you. I can't call.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that ticket's there.
I promise. Listen, I can't call Mrs. McWilliams, Cindy, like some of our teammates. It'd be like Fonzie saying, So tell Mrs. Coach McWilliams, Dennis, Hunter, Corby, Summer, all your pets and all your friends, we love you. God bless you. Thanks for calling in, Coach.
Thanks, Coach McWilliams.
That ticket will be waiting for you.
And I think he forgot Carol Louise.
Yeah, tell Carol Louise Hastings we love her. Bye-bye, Coach. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach.
That was Coach David McWilliams, former Texas Longhorns head coach, and he just scored me a ticket to the Big 12 championship game, brother.
I think he scored everybody.
Everybody named Chad
Anybody
McMillan.
who gets the will call.
Fortunately, this is going to be broadcast. Well, who knows? Maybe I'm going to have trouble picking up that ticket.
You're going to have somebody from the backwoods of Columbus going to be driving about 90 in their little Ford
There was
pickup.
a guy actually at UT, the same era, same vintage, named Chad McMillan.
Oh.
So if that dude
You
rolls
better
in,
beat him.
there.
You better beat him to the window, bro.
I'm gonna go camp out at jerryjones.com high. Hey, listen, Greg Berry, man, I want to tell our listening audience a little bit about you. You're just one of the most remarkable guys I know. And the night I met you was in 1987 at the Stagecoach Inn in Salado, Texas. Greg Berry was a high school senior at Salado High, a very gifted musician. He was in the 88, like I said, in the piano bar. He was playing as an employee of the Stagecoach Inn. I walked in, Curtis Thrift, nifty, thrifty linebacker from Lampasas High School, and his friend Greg Berry was dating Curtis's, what was that deal? Somebody was dating somebody.
Yep. My sister was dating Mr. Thrift.
That's right. Your sister Manny was dating Curtis Thrift. So I walk in, and here's Greg Berry. He's playing Jerry Lee Lewis. You shake my nerves. Take us back, 1988, the Stagecoach Inn. Gregory Wayne, Jerry Lee Lewis, Berry.
You shake my nerves and you right on my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. Too much, you broke my will. Oh, what a thrill.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Hey, GB, you want to learn that song for our next broadcast, brother? The story's really good, but when you don't know how to play the song. Gregory Wayne, Berry.
Hadn't played that song in 20 years.
You only played it last week, so next week, can you go ahead and learn it for us, GB?
Well, that one wasn't on video.
All right, good deal. Hey, listen, bro, when I met you, you were a fanatical fan. Your passion has only grown. Tell us about what you wanted for Christmas when you were a junior high student back in Salado High.
Well, the only thing I asked for was season tickets to the Longhorn games. And interestingly, back then you could pretty much buy a pair of season tickets to Longhorn games for about what you can pay for, a single set nowadays for one game. And my mom,
especially if you sit where Eric sits.
Easy.
I don't know, man. I hadn't been to Eric's seats.
Hey, Transwestern's been good to him.
Yeah, I bet. But I loved it, and it was in my blood from an early age. And so literally from the time I was in junior high school until I graduated from college at the University of Texas in 1993, I didn't miss a single home game. And I told this story the last time we were on the air. We were headed to, I believe it was an Arkansas game. This was back in the Southwest Conference days. And my mom and I were driving down from Salado, Texas, 45 miles up I-35 from Austin down to the game. And it was pouring down rain, just sheets of rain coming down. You could barely see where you're going. My mom was trying so hard to talk us into just turning around and going back home. And I was like, no, Mom, we can't. We've got to go. We got to go. And we pulled off the side of I-35 and rested for a little while and waited. And then we went on and went into the game. Man, what a blessing.
GB, you've got a passion for Longhorn football, and you got a real passion for statistics. Tell us, first of all, obviously the defensive performance last week statistically was very different than the rest of the season. But Will Muschamp's Texas Longhorn defense is just one of the finest units I've ever seen. What do you think are some of the strengths of that unit? And statistically, obviously last week against the Aggies was a little bit of an aberration. But tell us about where the Longhorn defense is statistically, and then I want to get your take on Colt McCoy.
Well, first of all, I want to just say I think the defense has been a little bit maligned in ways that they shouldn't have last week. I believe we need to be giving a lot of credit to Gerard Johnson and the performance that he put forth.
Exactly.
The defense made some plays. Earl Thomas made a great interception in the corner of the end zone to save a scoring drive of the Aggies. There were several solid sacks and stops. The defense showed up and stopped them, forced a 23-yard field goal that they were unable to make.
That was huge.
To say that the defense was completely absent is really inappropriate as well. But, if you just look at them statistically, they're one of the best units, in the history, really, of Longhorn sports. And, I think
would that be the best in the history of Longhorn baseball or Longhorn football?
Longhorn football, certainly. But, they'll show up this Saturday, and you'll see this afternoon, you'll see a different team. Zach Lee is not Gerard Johnson, and he's not Colt McCoy, and he's not, Vince Young. And I believe our defense, just like Eric said earlier, will show up. And that they'll show the form that they've showed all season.
EJ, weigh in on what the Longhorns need to do defensively to shut down the Cornhuskers.
Well, I think like any game, the game's going to be won in the trenches, and I do think that the rushing defense of Texas is very stout and very strong, and that's Nebraska's strength, is they like to run the football and have some success and then work off the play action. They have not played a defense as fast as Texas.
Right.
OU is the closest thing they've seen, and our safeties and our linebackers will get to the hole quicker than they've seen. I think that the key matchup here is the speed on the Texas defense versus the Nebraska skill players, and I think that's an area where we win the matchup.
Absolutely,
Eric,
and they only scored 10 points against Oklahoma.
Right, exactly. Eric, we've talked on previous broadcasts about Will Muschamp, and obviously the head coach in waiting has gotten a lot of attention in the last couple of years as the Longhorn defensive signal caller, and he is so fun to watch coach the Longhorn defense. Obviously, he's a brilliant strategist, but he coaches with tremendous passion. What do you think his contribution to the Texas Longhorn program and specifically the defense have been?
Well, we've talked about it. I think what he first and foremost, he brings passion.
Right.
These guys love to play for him. He's a fiery coach. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Very emotional. Has some great stories of some of his antics on the sidelines. He's chest butting everybody as they come off the field.
The dude can leap too, man. He gets at least 4 or 5 inches off the ground when he jumps.
Scares me to death, man. He's going to blow a knee one of these days.
You know that.
He's got insurance, man.
David McWilliams was a player's coach. I mean, Muschamp has a lot of passion. He's a young guy, and the players love to play for for him. And
Absolutely.
he's a brilliant defensive mind, and it's coming through on our defense this year. It took him a year to get the guys in the right position to understand his schemes, and he's got great talent back there, and the players are playing for him, and we're going to look real good. This is an offense that he's been licking his chops for.
Absolutely. And GB,